The desk was pink. Not soft pink. Not subtle pink. Aggressively pink. Daisy Brown stood in front of it, blinking. She'd expected clouds, maybe harps. She'd spent a good portion of her earthly life attending First Baptist Church of St. John, and not once had the Reverend mentioned anything about a folding table draped in a gingham tablecloth with a mason jar of wildflowers sitting next to a laminated sign-in sheet. And yet, here it was. "Welcome, welcome, welcome!" A woman in a pale blue cardigan came around the desk at a full, controlled sprint. Her name tag said Joan. "You must be Daisy. Oh, we have been so excited for you." Daisy looked behind her. Nothing but open air and a very long hallway lined with more folding tables. "Me?" Daisy said. "You!" Joan clasped both of Daisy's hands like they were old friends reuniting at a church potluck. "Come on over, sugar. We've got sweet tea, we've got a gift bag, and we have got so much to cover." Daisy looked at the gift bag. It had gold tissue paper in it, carefully arranged gold tissue paper. "I'm dead," Daisy said, slowly, like she was testing the word out. Joan beamed. "You are! And there's a gift bag." "There is always a gift bag." Daisy looked at the tissue paper again. "Who does the tissue paper?" Joan leaned in like she was sharing a secret. "David does the tissue paper. Don't tell him I told you. He acts like it's nothing, but he's very particular about the fold." Across the room, things were going considerably less smoothly. Barkley Reynolds had managed a logistics firm for 22 years. He'd coached his son's baseball team to 3 regional championships. He'd once reorganized an entire regional shipping route over a long weekend just because the inefficiency was keeping him up at night. He had never once, not once, in 47 years of professional and personal life, been late to a meeting. He was currently being told his luggage hadn't made it. "What do you mean it didn't come through?" He leaned over the second intake desk, where a young man in a neatly pressed button-down with a name tag reading David was typing something at the unhurried pace of a man who had, technically, all the time in existence. "Mr. Reynolds, we've been over this. You can't bring luggage." "I packed that bag specifically. I had a system." "Sir, my good watch is in there. My reading glasses. My—" "Mr. Reynolds." David looked up, calm, patient. The kind of patient that only comes from doing this for a very, very long time. "You won't need reading glasses or a watch." Barkley's eyes narrowed. "Why not?" "Time isn't really a thing here." "What does that mean?" "It means," David folded his hands on the desk, "that you've got nowhere to be, and everything you need to see, you're going to see just fine." "The watch was a nice one, though. I saw it in the file." Barkley blinked. "You saw my watch in the file?" "We're pretty thorough." "Then you know I need it." David smiled the way a kindergarten teacher smiles at a child who insists the sky is green. "I know you think you do." Barkley opened his mouth, closed it, sat down in the intake chair like a man who had just realized, for possibly the first time in his life, that he was not going to win this particular argument. Above both desks, stretching the full width of the welcome wagon in cheerful hand-painted block letters, hung the banner, "Remember, heaven has no perfect people." Daisy had been staring at it since she sat down. She'd read it 4 times, maybe 5. "Questions?" Joan asked, sliding a clipboard across the table. "That banner," Daisy said. "Mm-hmm." She tilted her head. "I figured there'd be something more official up there. A scripture verse, a plaque, something with gold trim." "Oh, we've got all of that." Joan gestured down the hall. "Orientation room B is full of gold trim. But we found the banner works better up front, first thing people see when they walk in." "Why's that?" Joan set down her clipboard and folded her hands on the table in the manner of someone who had answered this question many times and still meant every word of it. "Because the number one thing people walk in here carrying," she said, "isn't luggage." She glanced briefly toward Barkley's desk. "Well, sometimes it's luggage, but mostly it's the feeling that some mistake got made, that the file got mixed up with somebody else's, that there's been some kind of celestial clerical error." She smiled. "The banner takes care of that." "How?" "Because it's true for everybody. Every single person who walks through that door. CEO, Sunday school teacher, doesn't matter." Joan tapped the table. "Nobody here earned this, sweetheart, including the staff." She winked. "Especially the staff." Daisy looked at the banner again. Something shifted in her expression. Something loosened. She almost laughed, caught herself, glanced around like laughing at her own death might be some kind of violation. "Go ahead," Joan said. "It feels weird. It always does. For about 30 seconds. Then it doesn't." Joan slid the clipboard closer. "Now, let's get you signed in." Back at the second desk, Barkley had graduated from the luggage grievance to the procedural audit. "So there's no formal intake interview?" He'd found a pen and was taking notes on the back of his welcome pamphlet. "No scoring breakdown, no weighted criteria?" "There was a review," David said, "and I passed." "You're here, aren't you?" "But how?" Barkley set the pen down. His voice went quieter. Not soft exactly. More like a man who had built a very sturdy wall and was now standing in front of it, wondering if it was load-bearing. "I wasn't easy. Ask anyone who knew me. My ex-wife, my kids, the 17 people who quit my company between 2004 and 2009. I ran a hard shop. And I wasn't—" He stopped, tried again. "The file, on me specifically. It's got to be a mess." David let the silence sit for exactly 1 second. "We looked at the file, Mr. Reynolds." He shrugged. "It was a mess." Barkley winced. "Luckily," David said, "we don't grade on a curve." Barkley sat with that for a moment. "Then what do you grade on?" he asked. David pointed at the banner. Barkley looked at it, really looked at it, read it twice, the way a man reads something he wants to argue with but can't find the angle. "That's a terrible business model," he said finally. David laughed, a real one, genuinely surprised out of him. "Sir, you are not the first person to say that." "Doesn't it bother you?" "Not even a little." David capped his pen. "Honestly, it's the best part of the job." Barkley leaned back, looked at the ceiling, looked at the banner again. Something in his shoulders, something that had probably been up around his ears since roughly 1987, came down about half an inch. "I spent 47 years keeping score," he said. I know, David said, not unkindly. Most people do. And it didn't count for anything. David tilted his head. I didn't say that. It just didn't count for this. He nodded toward the hallway. What counts for this is a different column entirely. Barkley looked at him. What column is that? David smiled. That's what Orientation Room B is for. Later, and time really did feel different here, Barkley noticed it the way you notice a change in weather, a pressure shift, something you couldn't name but couldn't ignore. The two of them sat in the waiting area outside Orientation Room B, matching welcome pamphlets in hand. His already had a coffee stain on it. He genuinely could not explain how that had happened. You doing okay? Daisy asked. Barkley considered the question with the seriousness he applied to most things. I argued about the luggage for 40 minutes. I know, I heard. The young man was very patient. He was. I wasn't. Barkley folded his pamphlet into thirds, pure habit. I was difficult about it. Daisy said, which was honest without being cruel. Barkley looked at the banner, still visible from where they sat, still cheerful, still entirely unbothered by the two of them sitting underneath it. I spent a long time thinking the people who made it to a place like this were a certain type, he said. You know the type. Quiet, patient, never once yelled at anybody in a budget meeting. Daisy nodded slowly. I yelled at a lot of people in a lot of budget meetings, Barkley said. And yet, Daisy said, nodding toward the gift bag sitting by his feet. Barkley looked at it, gold tissue paper, carefully folded, slightly ridiculous. And yet, he agreed. Joan appeared in the doorway of Orientation Room B, clipboard tucked under her arm, cardigan perfectly pressed, smile at complete and total full deployment. Daisy, Barkley, we are ready for you. Barkley stood, straightened his collar, 22 years of muscle memory. Joan looked right at him, warm, knowing, carrying the particular expression of someone who had seen 10,000 versions of this exact moment and still found every single one of them worthwhile. Honey, she said, easy as breathing. None of us deserve to be here anyway. Barkley picked up his pamphlet, picked up the gift bag too, because apparently he was keeping it. He smiled, a real one, small but real. Yeah, he said, I think I'm finally getting that. Joan held the door open wide. Down the hall, soft voices, the warm, specific, unmistakable sound of a casserole dish being set down on a folding table.
I don't know if this was something I heard in a sermon in church or if it was just something I overheard, but the quote, "There are no perfect people in heaven," that just really stuck with me. I understood on a conscious level that we are forgiven and we go to heaven. We don't deserve it. It's a gift. It's grace. This is just a reminder to all of us that grace is a gift, that heaven is full of a bunch of people that didn't deserve to go there. And that is just, I don't know, it's just amazing. I don't know how else to explain it. I hope I make sense. Anyway, as always, take care. God bless. Bye.